What it do, bedtime crew? Hey man, listen, today I am here to give you guys my reaction to two huge fights that were announced by the UFC. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, now you know, UFC 318 will be headlined by a BMF title fight between Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, man. What a banger, dude. What a sick, guaranteed violence matchup, dude. This has never been seen before, ever, dude. This is a crazy, insane matchup, dude. I cannot wait to drink a beer and watch this, dude. And also, genuinely cool, finally, Kamaru Usman has returned from the podcast studio. This motherfucker has finally got out the booth, and he's gotten back in the cage. And he's fighting Joaquin Buckley. So this is a great fight. I'm going to talk about 318 first, though. And for those of you that don't speak Australian, you don't know what sarcasm is, I'm fucking appalled by this idea, bro. It's not that... Okay, I'm not actually appalled, but I just think it's dumb as fuck, dude. And this is such a meathead matchup. Like, this is such a fight that you put together for dudes that are like, oh my god, man, it's Captain America in the background. Like, that's what this fight is, dude. This fight's like an end credit scene for these fat nerds that are like, dude, guaranteed fucking violence, dude. Dude, Poirier, Holloway, two legends just swinging fucking hooks, dude. Fuck you, bro. Fuck off, man. There's so many better fights you could be making at lightweight. It doesn't make any fucking sense for the division, man. It doesn't make any sense for either of their legacies, because either Holloway beats washed up retirement Poirier, because I know that if Holloway wins, it's not because he's good, it's because Poirier is retiring and he's old and he's washed, right? And if Poirier wins, then Max Holloway is down 0-3 to a guy that's no longer ranked, you know? And I can see the narratives randomly starting when Holloway wins of like, Holloway has no ranked wins in the lightweight division when Gaethje retires as well. But regardless of that, I just think there's cooler fights you can make as well. I think for Dustin Poirier's legacy, avenging the loss to Justin Gaethje in the trilogy is more exciting than this. I think beating Ilya Topuria potentially is more exciting than this. And that's a way to get Ilya in the rankings, dude. That's a way to make that happen. Maybe if he has to get a title shot that you don't do that. But even Poirier versus Dan Hooker would be a better rematch, a little bit more intriguing, I think, a couple years later than seeing Holloway versus Poirier for the third fucking time. It's a good fight. It's exciting. I'm not here to be like, dude, I wish it was fucking Usman Nurmagomedov or some shit, right? I'm not a fucking hipster, dude, but I just wish it was Dustin versus Gaethje, and I wish it was Max versus Charles Oliveira, because not only is this fight just played out and like one of these meathead, like, dude, oh my god, man, what a fucking banger, dude. Whoa, bro. The fucking stare down, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking goofy, bro. But not only that, but now I have to think, is Rufus getting a fucking title shot? Is Justin Gaethje or Charles Oliveira, who don't deserve a title shot whatsoever, why are these two now one step closer to getting a fucking free title shot? Why are they even free in the division? You should be matching all four of these dudes up. It should be Arman Sarukian versus Dan Hooker. It should be Max versus Charles. It should be Dustin versus Gaethje. And it should be Ilya versus Islam, dude. That's what it should be in an ideal world. But alas, we now live with UFC 318. Dude, Holloway versus Poirier, man. What are you saying, bro? I already know that I'm going to get gaslit by these fucking goofballs, these fucking Goombas in my comments that are going to pretend this is like an exciting fight, dude. Like, obviously, this is entertaining. You know what else would be entertaining? These two versus literally fucking anyone, bro. You know that these two will fight basically anyone. It'll be entertaining. You have so many other options that make more sense. Think about the future of the division as well. Like I said, if Poirier wins, boom, say goodbye. Max Holloway, you're now ranked number 8. You're now ranked number 7. And the guy that beat you is not even there. What's the point, dude? What's the fucking point? Max Holloway's already top 5 in the division. He has no reason to fight Poirier specifically. Except for, again, the Goombas that are like, dude, they fought back in 2012, dude. Whoa, man. I just think it's really dumb. And again, I'm not even mad at the BMF belt fight headlining a pay-per-view. I'm not mad at Poirier's retirement headlining a pay-per-view. I really do want that for him. I like Dustin. I'm a fan of him. I don't think he wins this fight. And I just know this pay-per-view is designed to piss me off. I already know the co-main event is about to be fucking Strickland Adesanya too, dude. I already know that the co-main event is going to be some bullshit that's also going to piss me off. Like, it's going to be like, dude, Strickland Adesanya 2, what a banger. Or it's going to be, Like, why didn't we book Usman versus Colby 3 for this as well, bro? Why don't we get Adesanya versus Whitaker 3 up there, bro? We might as well, dude. Why don't we see if we can get BJ Penn and Frankie Edgar to go at it one more time while we're here, dude? I think it's just ridiculous, but I'll give you my prediction now that I've got my ranting about it over. I do think Max Holloway is going to win this fight, man, and I'm disappointed in that because I want Poirier to go out on a win. I would have rather have seen him fight Gaethje, who I think he could maybe beat in a trilogy, but, you know, it's a tough fight. I think he would beat Dan Hooker right now still. I think he would beat some of the other guys in the division. I think he'd be a tough fight for Arman Sarukian as well, but for Max Holloway, I think in a purely striking matchup against a slower, a lot more injury prone, a little bit less, you know, quick with it, Dustin Poirier, you know, I think his best moments against Islam came from defending takedowns, being in the clinch, working the body in the clinch, you know what I mean? Breaking away from a takedown, landing some combos. And I would say Max Holloway has a better chin than Islam Makhachev. I know people are going to disagree with that because one fight ago he got knocked out, but every other fight, this guy's tanking shots like it's nothing, and I think at 155, his chin's going to be pretty good. It's going to be refreshed with the time off as well. I do think that Max Holloway is going to have a speed advantage. I think he's going to have a little bit more power. He's going to be a little bit more properly bulked up to fight Dustin Poirier in the trilogy. And I do think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to be a lot less injury prone. We saw Dustin Poirier against Islam Makhachev tear his knee, break his hand, break his nose. I think he fractured his orbital as well. I just think that the age is catching up to Poirier. He's still really good. He's still blocky. He's still powerful. He's still extremely salty as well. That's a big factor. But I think Max Holloway is going to be able to figure him out in the trilogy here. I think he's going to win by decision. I don't think it'll be like a knockout. I maybe could see Poirier dropping him at some point. I think that's a very high possibility in this matchup, but expect like a clip farming decision and Poirier kind of goes out on a close decision. I think it's going to be like a Max Holloway. Maybe if the thing I would compare it to is like a, not Korean Zombie, Arnold Allen. I would say it's going to look similar to the Arnold Allen fight. I think Poirier is going to be, you know, decently aggressive every time he gets a chance, but I think Holloway is going to be a little bit more rangy. I think he's going to be a little bit cagey because he's coming off a knockout. I think he's going to clip farm a little bit, point down to the middle. You know, Poirier is going to be fucking smiling at him, pointing at him. You know what you fucking did, dude. Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty respectful. I think it's going to be similar to the Arnold Allen Max Holloway fight where Holloway, you know, is controlling the pace of the fight, controlling the range, stomping oblique kicks, you know, tapping little calf kicks. Double jab, cross to the body, you know, double jab, fakes it, goes for the knee, you know what I mean? Spinning back, kick to the body. And Poirier is going to land some big combos when he can, maybe push him back to the fence. But yeah, I think in general, Max Holloway is a lot more, like, active at the moment. I think he's less injury prone. I think he's going to have a speed advantage, but he's going to have a little bit more power than the last time he was at 155 against Dustin Poirier. You know, because they fought fucking twice already, and, you know, we had to run it back, dude. Listen, how do you not do Holloway Poirier 3, dude? I mean, the next fight we're thinking is doing Holloway versus Volk 4, man. How do you not want to see that fight? But yeah, man, it's just such a fucking waste of time. That's my thing, bro. It's not even a bad fight. I'm sure it'll be decently entertaining. I'm sure there'll be some emotional moments when Poirier retires. I know he's going to cry. I know he will try and jump a ghillie one last time for old time's sake, but all in all, I think Poirier is going to be a little bit slower, a little bit more trudgy. I think Holloway is going to have high output, but be a little bit more defensive, a little bit more cagey. And I just think he's going to cruise to a pretty, you know, confident, like 48-47 decision. Like, he will get tagged up a little bit. Poirier will have his moments, sticking his tongue out, you know, pointing at him a bit. But I think Holloway, in general, I don't know what the general consensus on this is. Nobody's made predictions yet. I'm the first dude to ever predict this fight, kid. I'm the first ever. Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, God, Ian Gary. But no, dude. I didn't mean to flash CP on the fucking screen. But yeah, dude. I'm picking Holloway to win by decision. I think this matchup is goofy as fuck. I wish it was Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. I wish it was Gaethje versus Poirier 3. Maybe you throw an interim BMF belt in there, but I think the UFC has kind of dropped the ball on this one. I think this is some casual fucking matchmaking just to get the blockheads excited. Dude, guaranteed violence, man. Full violence, bro. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to sit through fucking 2 months of just full violence and fucking IG reels. Dude, when this banger starts up, man, me and the boys when Poirier Holloway 3 point to the middle, dude. It's just such a fucking goofy matchup, but I will be picking Max Holloway to win this fight by unanimous decision. I do think he has caught up to Dustin Poirier at 155, especially because Poirier is retiring. I think he's going to be goofing around a little bit, kind of just chilling. It doesn't seem like one of these fights where if he wins, he's going to be like, you know what, maybe I still got it, dude. You know, maybe I can go one more time, dude. You know, I think if he had got matched up against maybe like Arman Sarukian or Paddy Pimblett or somebody like that, where beating them would be like, okay, Dustin's still like elite. You know, I think beating Max Holloway, people are going to be like, well, he was already up 2-0. You know what I mean? You have to basically masterclass Max Holloway the way that Volk did if you want to get credit for being 3-0 against someone. So in my opinion, pretty dumb matchmaking. Should be a decently entertaining fight, but I think in terms of the stakes, it's just so low stakes. I'm picking Max Holloway by decision. I am excited for this though, dude. I am fucking hyped for Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. I just want to give a round of applause to Joaquin Buckley's management for putting him on the pathway that he's on, because I think he definitely fits at welterweight, as a top contender. I'm not saying he's like fluking his way through the division, but the matchups this guy is getting is fucking perfect, dude. He's fighting all of the washed up boss battles of the welterweight division. And it's perfect, bro. Like, you're going in the Unk trilogy of Wonderboy, Covington, and Usman, and finishing them. You do deserve a title shot. Like, this guy, if he beats Usman, he's more deserving than Shavkat Rakhmonov ever was. That's a fact. I do not give a fuck, dude. If he beats Usman, he's more deserving than Shavkat and JDM. That's a fact, bro. I'm just gonna be fucking real. I love JDM. I would say Buckley and Brady will be more deserving than JDM if Buckley beats Usman, and I think he's going to beat Usman by KO. I genuinely don't think Kamaru Usman should be coming back, but I'm glad that he is. I can respect him coming back, dude. That being said, he's washed as fuck. He's not winning this fight, dude. You cannot tell me this guy's been sitting around in the fucking lab, in the podcast studio, just listening. Listen, dude, I think they're gonna punch, dude. Listen, Kamaru, dude. I don't know about you, man. I think they're gonna wear shorts when they fight, dude. Like, this guy's been hearing fucking Henry Cejudo brain rot for almost 3 years now, sitting on the sideline. This kid's bringing out Indian accents and shit on the podcast. I don't know what Usman has been doing for all this time, but he is 38 years old. He has terrible knees. He's already regressing, as we can see, losing to Leon Edwards. That is one of the most shameful. No, I'm just kidding. But like, he's on the decline, dude. You look at the signs around him. Izzy's on a losing streak. Cejudo's on a losing streak. What do you think Kamaru Usman's going to look like coming back from a 2-year layoff? I think he's going to have one round of success. I think he's going to maybe take down Joaquin Buckley at some point. Maybe the crowd's like, oh shit, maybe he still got it. But I think at some point, Joaquin Buckley's going to KO Kamaru Usman. I think he's going to catch him, drop him, and I think it's going to be one of those sad, you know you're better than this. Like, that's going to be the edits we're getting of Usman after this fight, dude. I do think that this is a very tough matchup for him. I think Buckley is a tough matchup for Brady, for Bilal. I can't think of any other top contenders that Buckley is he's a bad matchup for Shavkat, for sure. I think he beats Shavkat. No, I don't actually, but he'd be a tough fight for Shavkat. He'd be a tough fight for Gary. I would pick Buckley against Gary actually right now. Obviously, listen, the kid's not beating JDM. You know, no stakes in losing to JDM. But I think against Usman, Joaquin Buckley's going to be too quick. He's going to be too explosive. He's going to be way more limber, explosive, accurate. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable in the octagon as well. I think Usman's going to be really jittery, especially when Buckley starts out fast. And I think it's only a matter of time before Joaquin Buckley catches him, dude. Kamaru Usman dips his head a lot. This guy thinks he's fucking Terrence Crawford because he KO'd Masvidal back in the day. Like, he literally, bro, the downfall of Usman was getting good at striking, bro. This kid fucking slept Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal and thinks he's fucking Canelo Alvarez now. So I do think he's going to try and box with Joaquin Buckley for the most part. I think he's going to think that he can go out there and, pop the jab on him, move around with his angry little unk stance. But I do think that he's going to dip his head into like a big uppercut or a fucking left hook on the break. Like, he's going to, get hit with an uppercut, kind of back away from a takedown attempt and then get caught with a hook on the way out. I think at some point, Joaquin Buckley's going to catch him on the exit. Just being quicker, man. Just being quicker, more active, a lot more momentum, a lot more comfortability right now. I don't like this for Usman. I do think he's going to lose this fight. But I do respect him coming back for this. I'm not going to clown him if he loses. He's nearly 40 years of age. He's the second best welterweight of all time, behind JDM. No, I'm just kidding. But he's the second best welterweight of all time. And I respect him defending his fucking rank, dude. Because I'm sick of these old fuckers just sitting around doing nothing. And Usman was getting to that point, bro. Like, Usman was getting to a point where if he was sitting around going, hey, when I come back, I'm taking over the whole welterweight division, like he's been doing for the past year, it was getting to a point where it's like, bro, come on, do something. You know what I mean? Stop sitting around talking about it. Actually show up and do something or just retire. So, respect to Usman for taking this fight. I'm glad this is headlining a fight night. It looks like a pretty good card all in all. Like, it's, you know, you got Rose Namajunas in the co-main event. Thank God it's not the actual main event. Alonzo Menafield on the card, Edmund Shablazian, Cody Brundage, fraud checking Mansour Abdul Malik. This is a pretty good fight night event, and I like that this fight is headlining it, dude. I like that this is not getting added on to a pay-per-view. I think this is the type of fight that we want to see Buckley go 5 rounds. We want to see him, you know, prepared to go 5 rounds against someone as good as Usman, because this is a, like, title shot level win. That's the last thing I'll say about this, man. I genuinely believe, like I said, dude, if Joaquin Buckley beats Usman after beating Colby and Wonderboy, you really can't argue with that as a like, that's actually a crazy resume, even though they were all washed when he fought them. But you, at the same time, you can't deny that these are good wins. Like, these are solid enough wins, ranking-wise, legacy-wise, matchup-wise, that you have to put him above Shavkat Rakhmonov as a top contender. Like, I genuinely think if he wins this fight impressively, he should skip Shavkat Rakhmonov, dude. I think it should be Brady then Buckley fighting JDM for the belt once he sleeps Bilal Muhammad. But these are my early thoughts, my early predictions for UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier. I got Holloway by decision, and I think that Joaquin Buckley is going to KO Kamaru Usman at some point, but we'll see closer to the fights. Maybe my predictions will change. Maybe I'll fence it a little bit. Let me know down below, though, guys. What do you think of these matchups? What did you think of the announcements? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'd love to hear that down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you want the teacher tier list. I will be doing it at 75K. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, appreciate you boys. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the fights. I will be doing an instant recap for those events on Saturday for you guys, Sunday for me in Australia. So stay tuned for that. Have a good one, boys. Goodbye.